traditional, what are called Dram Shop Act cases. That involves over-serving drunk patrons at bars, typically bars, but sometimes at restaurants, depending on the facts. What happens when you're injured by a drunk driver who got drunk at a bar? Well, naturally, anyone who's injured in those circumstances will have a standard negligence claim against the driver. Obviously, it's, just negligent to drive under the influence. So you have that option if you find yourself in one of those circumstances. But let's just say that driver's coverage is relatively low, and maybe you don't have the proper underinsured limits to make yourself whole. What do? Well, maybe you can try and retrace the steps of where that drunk driver was and the hours leading up to the accident that hurt you. What do you have to show in order to succeed that the drunk driver may have been served illegally or may have been served when it was obvious that he was intoxicated? Well, you first have to show that the bar unlawfully sold to the drunk. Okay, well, if you have someone who testifies to, oh yeah, I saw that guy, he had glassy eyes, he was slurring, he was stumbling and bumbling through the bar, and I saw the bartender give him a couple of drinks before he left in his car. Well, that would be certainly helpful testimony. How do you prove that that person was served when they were visibly intoxicated? That visible intoxication element is also something that needs to be successfully shown in order to prevail in a case like that. Some people can hold their liquor pretty well. Showing visible intoxication may be a lot more challenging if you have someone who's a pro, so to speak, right? But nonetheless, the element of visible intoxication is still there and it still needs to be fulfilled. Then you have to show that the sale caused or contributed to the drunk's intoxication in any appreciable degree. Again, you might need some sort of retrospective workup by a pathologist or someone else who can offer some expert insight to intoxicated people and their blood levels and the alcohol levels in their blood. I've had to travel down that road a couple times as well. It's again, not the easiest path. And then naturally you have to show that there was a connection between the intoxication and your injury. So clearly a drunk driver is kind of a classic take on it.